should I start this? Hi. Welcome to our show. Oh, didn't see you there. Maybe if you give me some applause, it'll get me into it. There you go. That was great. Thank you. All right, guys, I'm gonna do something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. This has been years in the making, in the fact that I took years to ride enough roller coasters to where it was actually worth ranking anything that I've been on. I actually have no idea how many roller coasters I've ridden. I think I have a pretty well-rounded opinion. I think I've been to a lot of places. I just haven't been, you know, to California or SoCEDAR City or anywhere in Europe other than PORTAVENTURA or Asia. Maybe I should do this list at another time. We'll do one for now anyway, it's fine. All right, for number 25, we are gonna start at one of my favorite parks, Cedar Point. This is one of two inverts on the list. I'm giving number 25 to RAPTOR. The first 2 times I ever went to Cedar Point, never even got a chance to ride. Only my most recent trip, I actually got a ride on it. And oh my gosh, no one told me it was one of the best rides in the park. All you ever hear about is, you know, Steel Vengeance, Maverick. Yes, those are fantastic, but oh my gosh. RAPTOR is amazing. That is a forceful ride. And coming in right after that is actually going to be my favorite invert. They both stayed at the bottom of the list because let's be real, B&M inverts. I've got MONTU at Busch Gardens, Tampa. When I first moved to Florida, this was like one of the first new roller coasters I got to do. And like, it set the bar very, very high for Busch Gardens, Tampa. But MONTU is a crazy ride. Like the Batwing is deranged. It probably shouldn't even be allowed, but it's so good. It's actually a ride that I would recommend riding in the front, which is a rarity for me. Coming in at number 23 is the only roller coaster on this list that makes me feel cool because it's the only one that's international. For now, I've got SHAMBHALA, which, you know, people hyped it up that it was gonna be the best B&M hyper that I ever did. I don't think that's true. It is fantastic though. It is visually stunning. I am a sucker for white track, first of all. But it also has just like very unique elements. Like the turnaround section I absolutely thought was the coolest thing ever. And up until recently, I was really hoping that Knott's Berry Farm was gonna put one of those on their Giga, but guess we're not doing that anymore. Coming up next is actually Busch Gardens Williamsburg's newest roller coaster. And funny enough, not my favorite roller coaster in the park, PANTHEON. It's a shame that it wasn't given more love in the sense that it literally is like in a farm. Like the theming is literally walking by a yak in the queue, and there's usually a pile of poop there. But the ride itself is fantastic. The little pop of airtime you get, I shouldn't say little, the enormous pop of airtime you get going into the top hat is probably my favorite part of the ride, going both forward and backward. But my problem is I feel like it kind of levels out after that, like the big star moments are at the very beginning. And that's why I can't rank it higher. And it's not the ride I get most excited to do in that park, but we'll get to that later. I'm literally already dehydrated. At number 21, this is the would-be best B&M hyper if, 1, it wasn't a rattly piece of, you know, and 2, if I was not a complete and total simp for Nitro. That would be Goliath at Six Flags Over Georgia. That thing has the most ridiculous layout that I've ever seen on a B&M hyper. Like, I wish more of these existed, but I also wish that the one that exists now was maintained better, because if you've ridden it, you know, it gives you a headache. But you ride something like MAKO or Nitro, it's glass smooth. So if they could just do that, I think this thing could jump up in like literally in top 12. Not 15, not 10, 12. All right, next up on the list was my former favorite roller coaster at Busch Gardens, Tampa, KUMBA. Has now been replaced, but we'll get to that one too. It's beautiful, it's intense, it's got an absolutely insane layout, and long story short, because I can't figure out what I'm trying to say, KUMBA is fantastic, and you should definitely get your butt down to Busch Gardens, Tampa and ride it before they like dismantle this thing. And no, that is not insider information. Coming in at number 19 is a ride that is currently SBNO. Would you look at that? Topville Dragster at Cedar Point. Absolutely insane launch. Yes, these strata coasters are kind of a one-trick pony, but this ride does it perfectly. It has just the most incredible feeling that comes along with it that I don't feel like I could get on any other launch. Dragster is it. I feel like it's more meaningful if I do this. It's the best launch. Wow, I really put a lot of roller coasters on here that like I like subtly hate, but I also love. You ready? Number 18, Lightning Rod. I have only gotten to ride this thing 3 times, and I've spent probably 5 days at the park. A lot of those were for filming This Is How We Roll. My cameras have ridden this ride more than I have. Like, significantly more. My memory of the ride is actually fairly minimal, but I just remember loving it. And I think that specifically comes with the quad down at the end. I think that that could be considered the single best element on a roller coaster from my humble experience. It's just so much fun, and I wish that more parks would kind of utilize their terrain in that kind of way. So take notes. But maybe not the wood launch, because that really doesn't work. Number 17, I have Maverick at Cedar Point. I find that I forget what this ride does every time I ride it. That's not a great sign for my memory. But despite not having a ton of rides on it, like the ones that I did have really stuck with me, which is really contradictory to the fact that I just said I don't remember the ride. Maybe I should rethink this one. All right, next up at number 16, I have VERBOLTEN. This is my actual favorite roller coaster at Busch Gardens Williamsburg because I almost have this weird way of judging which rides are not necessarily the best, but my favorite. And that's the laughs. I ride VERBOLTEN and I feel like I sound like a hyena. I also am a sucker for being in the dark on a roller coaster. Even if the ride is like kind of stupid, I still think I enjoy it by that sheer novelty. But VERBOLTEN has such unexpected intensity on the inside there. And my only quarrel is I almost wish that it was made by somebody else. Is that mean? All right, number 15. People are gonna get pissed at me for this one. I've got MAKO, second favorite B&M Hyper. You should really dust this, it looks horrible.
I know.
This has some of the craziest, most sustained floater airtime that I've ever experienced. You will literally spend more time out of your seat than in it. So you literally spend the entire ride just flying into space. Number 14 is my brand, I feel at this point. It's NITRO. And I don't feel bad about it. I'm letting go of all of the criticism and shade that has been thrown my way for my unapologetic obsession with this roller coaster. The colors are beautiful. I think that this yellow and pink and blue piece of art deserves way more love. Stop laughing.
Garbage.
No! Can't catch a break. It feels like it's almost like the Nickelback of B&M Hypers. Like, it's like fun to hate on them, but they're actually great. Yes, that's me admitting I like Nickelback. It's more fun to hate it than to just admit that it's the best B&M Hyper in the world. I can't help you with that. There's no antidote for ignorance. Next up at unlucky number 13 is I-305. This thing is like the ultimate powerhouse of roller coasters. It is the only roller coaster that has actually made me legitimately think that I was going to like go unconscious. It really feels like you're gonna. It almost feels like Millennium Force and Maverick, after Cedar Point closed, got together and had a baby and sent it to Virginia. Is that a weird way to describe that? Coming in at number 12, we have probably what I would consider the best themed roller coaster I've ever seen. That is HAGRID'S Magical Motorbike and Creature. Nope. HAGRID'S Motorbike. No. Oh my gosh. HAGRID'S. HAGRID'S is number 12. One, because of the immaculate theming, but two, because it's just a genuinely fun experience while also having some very cool, unique elements. I can't really think of a better family coaster out there. I don't think I've ever met anyone that said, yeah, I did not enjoy HAGRID'S Motorbike Creature Magic. Now we're gonna get pretty heavy into Rocky Mountain construction, starting with Storm Chaser. Now, funny enough, this is a ride that I definitely did not love when I first rode it. I think I actually got off and everyone was like kind of staring at me like, huh? Like, what'd you think? And I'm like, that was all right. Come to find out that it was kind of running below its normal abilities. And now that I've ridden it at full force, I wholeheartedly apologize to all the people I upset that day. Jefferson, Peter, I'm really sorry. And this is my formal apology to you. Storm Chaser kicks ass. All right, this is where the fun starts. My top 10. Now, honestly, I could probably reorder this like a million times over and never be satisfied with it, but I'm gonna just roll with what I have here on my computer.
You're gonna what with it?
I'm gonna roller.
You're gonna what with it?
Coaster?
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense. I'm gonna roll with what I've got, which is coming in at number 10, Wonder Woman Golden Lasso Coaster at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. So Wonder Woman Golden Lasso Coaster was actually the first single rail that I ever rode, and ironically enough, I'm pretty sure it's the best. This honestly could be like a Wonder Woman / stunt pilot spot because they are essentially the same ride. There's just little things that make them different because of the length of the train. But overall, I feel that Wonder Woman definitely has the edge because of how absolutely out of control crazy it is. Like Alan Schulke himself said that it was too much. Number 9, I've got Mystic Timbers at Kings Island. In my humble opinion, this is the best roller coaster at Kings Island. Orion, I'm sorry. It means a lot when a smaller wooden roller coaster can outdo something that is almost 300 feet tall. Get it? Because it's not a giga?
Ha ha ha.
Personally, I think that it's the best night ride at Kings Island. Sorry, Beast. My number 8 is a ride that I woefully regret saying would probably not even crack my top 10 because here I am eating those words now. That is Fury 325 at Carowinds. I definitely went into this with low hopes and low expectations despite all of its hype because it is a B&M. I figured it would just be feeling more like a refined B&M hyper with a little more height. I could not have been more wrong if I had tried. This ride is essentially a love child between B&M and Intamin, and we need more of them. Knott's Berry Farm, I'm looking at you. Number 7, I have Twisted Timbers, and up until recently, this was my second favorite RMC. I think of this ride as like a little Steel Vengeance, but this is another one of those rides that, and anyone who's ever ridden this with me can confirm, I just laugh. The airtime is absolutely out of control. The pacing of the ride is perfection, in my opinion. I honestly don't think that there's anything I would change if given the opportunity. You know, this just shows, again, what RMC is capable of doing. You know, I've done Hurler. It's not good. Number 6, I have SKYRUSH. That was just recently bumped out of my top 5. I don't like the restraints just as much as everyone else. Like, I've got big thighs and it really hurts riding this thing. But if you can look past that, or if you can figure out a way to like sit where it doesn't hurt, this is one of the best ride experiences on the planet. I would argue that this is probably the craziest first drop on any roller coaster. Like it almost feels like 2 drops in one. Like it's like didn't quite get to the angle of descent that it wanted, so it like they just decided halfway down to kind of fix that. And it feels broken. For that reason, I absolutely adore it. Number 5, I have Voyage at Holiday World. I feel like this is a staple to the roller coaster enthusiast top 5. If you aren't putting Voyage up there, then clearly you've either never done it or you've never done it at night. If I had never done it at night, I don't know that it would be quite this high. It's one of those rides that just never lets up. There are very few rides that I've ridden that I would describe the after feeling as numbness, but this is one of them. I get off of it feeling like I have no feeling in my body or mind or soul. Number 4, I have Velocicoaster, which has somehow managed to become probably one of my most ridden roller coasters ever after only having been open for a little over a year now. Actually, not even a year. It hasn't even been a year since actual opening date. And I feel like I've ridden this thing more than other rides that have been open for several years because I cannot get enough of it. You have the theming, you have 2 insanely incredible launches, and then you have what could arguably be called the best coaster element out there, the Mosasaurus roll over the water. I actually talked to the guy who did the layout of Velocicoaster, and I called him insane, like right to his face for coming up with something like that, but like also thanked him because, ow. I've talked about this too much. I need to shut up about Velocicoaster. Now to settle a debate that I've been having internally, and probably everyone who has done these 2 roller coasters has had now, which is Steel Vengeance versus Iron Gwazi. I put Steel Vengeance at my number 3. It is an insanely incredible piece of art that RMC has created. However, I put Iron Gwazi 1 spot ahead at number 2. Iron Gwazi delivers a broader variety of elements. And I feel that each moment on that ride stands out distinctly.
Show!
Wow. I literally can't think after you just sneezed that loud. There's not a time to catch your breath, which I honestly appreciate. Every element on this ride is really good. It's awesome. I like it a lot. I'm tired. Bottom line, I think that Steel Vengeance and Iron Gwazi are both two of the best roller coasters in the world, made by, in my opinion, the best manufacturer in the world. I'm running out of brain power. I don't know what I'm even trying to say anymore. I will say the one thing also that stands out about Iron Gwazi is its speed. The best comparison I can make is the Batman clone at Over Georgia, how that runs uncomfortably faster than all of its brothers and sisters. Iron Gwazi is the RMC version of that. It runs at a speed that feels wrong. It is the only ride that I've ever been on with my mother that she said legitimately frightened her. All the things that she described as being terrifying are the reasons that I love it. All right, if you know me at all, if not, hi. Pleasure to meet you. My number one should not come as a shock. And I think that I am at a point now that I am so stubborn that nothing will ever like knock this one out of its place, and that is El Toro. There's some level of sentimentality here, probably. It was the roller coaster that made me fall in love with roller coasters, and it's honestly the reason that I'm probably sitting here in this lovely studio making this video for you fine people. To me, El Toro is a perfect roller coaster. First drop is insanity. The airtime is not only forceful, but I feel it is unique in the way that it feels. It feels like if you've ever ridden a mechanical bull and gotten yeeted off of it, that's what the airtime feels like. It's its own form of ejector, and I can't get enough of it. But objectively, it's an amazing roller coaster, and I think it is more than worthy of a number one spot on a list like this. It's rare that you get a wooden roller coaster that is that insane and that smooth at the same time. So Intamin, Six Flags Great Adventure, thank you for birthing the best roller coaster in the world. I will never back down from this opinion, so just accept it. I literally have bull horns that I wear to the park. Dedication. So I hope you guys enjoyed hearing some of my thoughts on the best roller coasters in the world thus far. Now, I will be going to Europe for a literal month and going to 11 different countries that none of which I've been to before. So this list will likely look drastically different by then. If you guys like this, maybe I'll do another one. If you hate it, then like, please don't tell me. If you like this video, make sure to give it a big old thumbs up.
No.
Goodbye. That was a nightmare. So long.
I'm cutting the camera.
Thank you for watching. No, don't do